and then we will get started.
Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we come before you, Father, thanking you, Lord, for all that you do and continue to do in our lives. Father, we thank you, Lord, for your goodness. We thank you for your faithfulness, Father. We thank you, Father, for your Holy Spirit that
And then we
continues
will.
to bless us. Father, we thank you, Lord, for your miracle working power, Father. We thank you, Lord. We thank you for this session today, Lord. We thank you, Father, as we come together as a family, Lord. We just thank you, Father, we can stand on your word, Father, because your promises are yes and amen. And we just thank you for all that you do. We give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen, Miss Barbara. I can hear your voice choking up. Good morning, guys. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Just thank you for all the miracle workers and prayer warriors. Just thank you. Thank you. I wanted to tell you guys this morning. I was gonna put it in the chat and I said, no, I can't do that. Cannot do that. So, okay. Good morning, guys. Good things all around. It is the last day of the month. We are blessed and highly favored. I pray you guys are all on a journey, inside of yourselves, whether that's on trading or not. It's all part of the same process, right? We're all here to grow. You guys already know the drill. Don't spend what you can't afford to lose. This is you gotta stay long enough to make money, and sometimes that is a little longer than we want, okay? But it's part of the real process. So obviously, if you're getting brokers or prop firms, check out this link tree. We should have it up on the website as well, just kind of being able to give your prop firm reviews and all the other things. I have kept no secrets in terms of take profit traders and easy withdrawal, man. It's easy. Blue Guardian, easy. Funding ticks, easy. Actually, there's a couple of them that are really not too bad. Apex is my long-term goal. Not as easy, but it is my long-term goal. So use code 6FTC or whatever is in that link tree, and that's all we've got there. So I'm going to minimize this. We are on the last day of the month, and I want you guys to know I have it up on regular trading hours just so I can show you we've filled the gap technically. So this is where we gapped down on Friday. So now if I go to electronic trading hours and we're on the 30-minute time frame, I'm going to disable all indicators for a minute. Um, we've already filled that low on Friday. So we filled that kind of daily overnight gap, if you will. I also have to point out we are sitting in this area of interest. So we've tapped up into midnight open. We've tapped up into yesterday's kind of regular trading, the closing price, which is here of that where we closed yesterday. Really, today is going to be a day of if we lose, I'm going to say the 800s and we can stay below, think within that first 15 minutes, I want to sell down into the 730s even. I want to sell down all the way into here. 630s kind of filling that imbalance a little bit. If not, of course, we're going up looking for the 25,000. So I am very open to either direction today, but we are in this area of interest, which is a pretty thick zone, guys. It's from eight, and this isn't perfect. It's not just because 820 because Jenny said so, right? But this white line is that where we gapped from Friday. Okay. That's the bottom. The top, this is where we've stayed. This is our highs. So it's kind of a pretty valid two levels from 820s to 740s. Obviously, there's a lot of money to be made in the middle of this. That's what is that, 60 to 80 points ish. So let's play this very safely. We've got pre-market high, pre-market low is kind of that second wick. Yesterday's low, yesterday's high. So this is the 30-minute time frame. I'm monthly candle theories and all those things, in theory, we should be forming a pretty decent wick. Okay. Which right now we, in all fairness, don't have much of. So that 100-point drop, which sounds a little optimistic, is very possible. Okay. It's very, very on the table just to give us that monthly wick alone. But we'll see. It doesn't mean we have to get it. We can still push up, cash out that 25,000 and end full strong. So I'm very, again, open to both directions, all directions here. I don't want to make a prediction. We've got NFP this week. We've got 3 minutes to opening bell. We can go ahead and draw a little very small time frame trend line. Okay. Those are kind of the 50% halfway, the overnight mid-range. What is that? Hold on. Overnight mid-range is 805, which is right just below yesterday's closing price. So we get below here, I'm definitely wanting to kind of take it down to take out yesterday's low and pre-market low. Okay, those are easy targets, great, easy trades. If we're getting a lot of rejection, so if we can't close below kind of the 800s, 795, 800s. I'm talking close, not wick. We can easily wick down, grab all that, and then shoot back up. But if we fail to close below, I'm looking to come. There's obviously an imbalance, a fair value gap right in here, otherwise known as an imbalance, right? We've already cashed out this one way, way up there, but there's still some more room to be had. So there's quite a bit of money on the table here. That's the 25,000. So we'll see. Anybody got a prediction? Last day of the month? Are we going up? Are we going down? What is your guys' prediction? Let's make a prediction. What do you get?
The hourly time frame right now is showing that it may be potentially trying to go down, but it hasn't made that push. It's not definite right now. But if it goes up, maybe retests a little bit of that big hourly candle and rejects, then we could see some downside movement. But it still could very well go in the opposite direction and go up. Obviously, long term, we're in a very, very, very bullish market.
Very bullish. I agree. I'm very open to either side, guys. So if I'm open to either side and I'm pretty concrete on that, I'll tell you how I play it. I play it like, hey, I'm gonna make this box a different color here. But I play it like, hey, I want to be in and out of the market. What can I do? I'm gonna do, there we go. I'm okay with that. That color. I don't even remember what the E is, but that's okay. I'm going to keep that right there. We're at opening bell. Now I'm going to go down to the 2 minutes. I think there's a lot of potential on all sides. And now my computer want to freeze as the market is going up. Let's see. So we've got our nice little bounce. This is kind of the area that I'm really going to be tracking. We've got our 2 minute range. We are still technically below that kind of 20-ish moving average. We're still above the VWAP. We've got this little trend line to lose. We're breaking the VWAP. We just retested. We like that for the sells. I mean, there's a lot of potential on this, but any trade we decide to take, we've got still a minute and a half left. Just I'm not taking this trade yet, but I'm going to go ahead and drop it. Kind of give you an idea when and if this sets up. You got to think to take yesterday's lows is 27 points, 40 points to pre-market lows. That's not a bad target, okay? Not a bad target at all. We like that. And we're trying to break that line. Let's move this out the way. Nice voluminous 2 minute candle there. And that's also breaking a higher time frame kind of trend line. But we need yesterday's closing price is 780. Yesterday's low, I guess, is in this range. For us to be really confident of that, I really would want to stay, get and stay below. But there's a lot of chop and I don't want to give it back. I'd like to end my month green, all the good, the bad, and the ugly, which I've been able to do, which is good. Very, very good. Averaging about 50 to 70,000. And that's with the good, the bad, the ugly, blown account, going from NinjaTrader copying to TradeSync to back to NinjaTrader, all the things included. I really wish I'd have taken this right there. As soon as we got back below, that's already 5, 10 points. That's beautiful. We lose this level, we already know that this is a lot of points. That's 50 points to the downside. So we're breaking out now. We probably don't need that blue box kind of cluttering up our view. I'm going to move that over just a smidge, get that out of our way. I'm going to keep that grayish one on. We are tapping that kind of breakout line. There is a slight ATR buffer. We're also kind of breaking down. This is a small little trend line we drew, but this also attached to a much larger one. So we like this in general. I'm going to go ahead and look for my entry now. I'm only in 2 contracts. I don't have that one part turned on yet, so we can actually see the P&L because all my stuff updated. Don't need to give it as much. I do want to see if we can't get into here. That's going to be the main goal. Bills and orders. Show all. Show P&L on chart. So not a lot. This 40-ish bucks split between all the accounts is worth about 1,500-ish with how it's being mirrored right now. Really would like to at least see us kind of tap down into the 750s. That should be a pretty reasonable target. Of course, on camera, this is going to be much sexier if this was, a mini, but it's not. I don't want to mirror minis to micros anymore. I do not want to do that. I just haven't seen it work consistently. It'll work for 3, 4 days, and then obviously it only takes 1 day for that to go wrong for you to make a huge catastrophic mistake. So even if it's perfect for 3 or 4 days on the really voluminous day, it's really not worth giving it all back over a technological issue. It's kind of stupid. So we like that a lot. Definitely not bad. I wish I could put this into points. That would be much better. That's 2,000 on the day, 1 trade. Oh, all the way back up. 82 to 50. That was only almost 30 points. See if we can't be patient with it. 15-minute range still has 10 minutes to form, which we could easily just wick and kind of cash out that level, that low, that overnight low, which is at 754, and then pop back up. So the big time frame sell is not really confirmed until we can kind of close below that, and we're not looking like we've got that in the bag. '82 to '70s. It's only up 10 points right now. We've got a pivot point down there at 726 and 23 minutes left on the hourly candle. To go from green to red on the 30-point move is foolish. It's also hard with the mathing and seeing the micros because you don't freak out the same way if this was a mini. If this didn't look like 20 bucks or 70 bucks, this would look much differently. So you kind of trade a little bit differently, you protect a little bit differently. I still like what we're seeing here, this wick to the upside, 1 minute left on this 2-minute candle. I like that a lot. Just hoping to kind of come down and take out this level. I am gonna now that we formed this wick, I definitely don't want it to pop back up. So now no matter what, I'm gonna go ahead and lock. There's no sense in giving more back. Because now if we do fail to, continue, that's fine, but I want my profit out of it. We've just taken the low. That's going up on $4,000 split between 15 different accounts. So that's not a lot per account. That's between $100 and $400 per account based off of how many micros it's running. This should start kicking in and start trailing a little bit tighter, but I'm going to go ahead and trail it a little bit tighter manually now. Could have got a little better at the 744s. But I'm okay with that. That is not a bad 57s to 82s, close to 30 points. And that's $3,500. So not bad. Wasn't it on my amp though, Because on a day like today, I can't be it on my amp because there's just too many different directions that it could go. So I could have if I wanted to scalp it. I could have. And we're losing it. Now I want to see, we've got 6 minutes left on the 15-minute candle. 5-minute range has been set. We didn't close below on that 5-minute range, the overnight low. I'm wondering if the 15 minutes just going to come tap that kind of that pivot point, sweep this level, and then pop back up. So I really want the confirmation before I look for another entry. Really want the confirmation before I do that. Let's go to MN micros, MNQ. And we're still going, which is beautiful. Oh, she's still dropping. Kind of nice. This, so that's what she looks like. So not bad. 3,500 bucks. No. Yeah. 3,500 bucks. Yeah, I was like 35,000. No, that's not 35,000. But that's it. That's one trade. That's not including any other entries. That's literally just this, nothing else, and be done. Obviously, some of these are bigger accounts that have more room. This is only doing one micro. Okay, and you can kind of just see these are all micros. None of these are minis. So the commissions are going to be higher. That kind of stinks. But overall, not a bad way to be. That's the entry. And we're pulling back up. So could we have made a little bit more off of that? Sure, but not substantially. Not enough to be like, hey, poor management. Some days are poor management. This day, not poor management. Now she's pushing back up. So it didn't exit too far from the low. I can live with that. Would have loved to get in here. That would have been a much better entry. 15-minute time frame's got 4 minutes left on this candle. We want to see what happens. Want to see if we can hold this. We just got the 780s, 770s. But if we don't have a body close down here, we don't have any confirmation to sell. If we can get the confirmation to sell and kind of stay below this, I don't mind if we wick back into it, but I want to stay below it in terms of like body closes and continuation. We've got some sell side potential, and I think it's, a 100-point move potentially. So this is that blue range. We knew we marked that up a week ago, so we know its significance. But right now we just swept pre-market lows and yesterday's lows. We have not closing below there just yet. We just took the levels. That's it. If we can manage, I'd like to get down to 130 points all the way to 100-ish points. That's where I'd like to take it. But now we wait. Let's see what happens on this next bigger candle. 30-minute time frame. Anybody take that trade? Anybody make any money? Anybody do any of the things? Tell me. How did it go? We're waiting now. We got another 30 points to kind of take the next level. A lot of wicks still. So now I'm gonna wait. We wait. $6.90. Wait, are they gonna hold numbers? Does anybody know? All of you news gurus, are they gonna hold numbers based off of the potential looming shutdown? Because I heard that somewhere and I was like, huh, I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel or what I think is going to happen, but like some of the numbers from today, or is it NFP or is it the jobs numbers? Like what are they holding until they find that out?
Well, I would think that after until there's a shutdown, offices are still open, so they should be still producing product.
In theory. But I heard something, and don't ask me where, that they were holding numbers until they figured that part out. And I was like, well, we got, but they're still going to be released. It doesn't matter. We got PMI. And that's at 9:45. So yeah, I don't want to be in a trade for that anyway. One minute until the news comes out, guys. Hey, Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
You and Wendy going dancing?
This weekend,
Okay, good. Very, very good. I think it
of
just,
course, she's going every day.
well, yeah, but I'm glad you're going with her this weekend. I'm very, very glad. We got to have stuff outside the charts, guys. We can post pictures in like the public chat or the members chat of outside the charts things too. Like share life. That's the whole purpose of a community, is to share life. Numbers are out in, I can see, 1 minute. Great trade. Look at that 15-minute wick though. That 15-minute wick is not giving that we close down today, but there's no guarantees. We'll see. That 15-minute wick is saying, hey, we might come up to get this. But we've got news last day of the month on NFP week. So trade that accordingly. We've got news last day of the month and NFP week. So we've got all the way up into here, which is a decent chunk of 100 pips either direction, really. Two minutes. That would have been a great buy if I bought that back up, but I didn't. I don't play the bounces and the ranges, mostly because I don't do it well. I know some people have the whole like, hey, it's moved 7 or 8 candles down. I know I can buy this up for 5, 10 points or whatever. On the time I do it, it's the time it's losing all the way or going up all the way. I just don't think it's super, super worthwhile. I really don't. Too many other elements involved. I know some people are really great at playing the ranges. I'm not. I think I would need tighter management and tighter exits to do that.
Yeah, last week I was super in sync with the market and I was micro scalping and just killing it. And this week I'm getting my ass handed to me. So
That's how last week was clean though. I feel like the price action was amazing.
yeah,
Was it we haven't seen a clean week like that in I don't know how long, where almost every day was clean. Those are the weeks it's easier. It
we're
just
back into pretty ugly chop.
in the big time frame, yeah. Look, guys, we are just kind of sitting in this area now. This has been this week. So this was overnight action. This is our New York. And then this is overnight, and this is overnight. And I've gotta love that. We got a nice little rejection off the VWAP, off of the moving average, but we've got still 20 seconds left on this 2-minute candle. It's really hard to want to sell back into this. The way that wick is closing, we've got 12 minutes left on the hourly candle. Okay, with a nice strong wick to the downside. We're sitting right back at yesterday's closing price. And yesterday's low. Yesterday's low and yesterday's closing price are pretty close to the exact same. We just have no reason to be looking for a sell yet. Trump is talking in an hour, too. If this candle was different, I would say, hey, as we get below this candle, we're looking for the sell. But this strong wick, I know it was news candles, is not me saying, hey, as we get back below the kind of the low of that candle, because that low of that candle is first off too far away, and that wick is just not very sexy. We're still technically in bearish territory for MACD. Big picture, I want a 100-point move today, either direction. And I think it's very much so on the table. It's just a matter of if it's going to happen while we're trading. While you're trading, it's really easy to see those 100-point moves and 200-point moves. It's harder to be like, have them happen at the exact time you're trading. That's a voluminous candle, but now I have nowhere for my stop. 30 points. And if this candle was a little different, and again, we weren't in this very indecisive area, as we got below the low of this candle, not the wick, but the low of the body, I'd be looking to sell with a really tight stop. I just didn't love that because of how the wick looked, everything else wasn't in love. That would have been an easy 20-point move. Well, it looks like we're trying to come down to cash out this 15-minute wick. We're breaking below the middle of the 15-minute range right now. All bearish. I really like the theory of closing with a nice wick on the monthly time frame. I really like this move. We've got, what is that, 725? These candles are just too big to even have a stop loss on them. And that's 35 points. See if we can't pop back up. That's a 20-point. I don't mind up to like a 25-point stop loss, but I need to get a little bit higher up before I can take that because I can't have my stop loss here. Let's see what we get.
We have Jolt's job openings at the top of the hour.
At 8 minutes, huh?
Yeah.
In 8 minutes, you think we can move 54 points? This is the next pivot level. Take the lows at 740s down to 725s. And we're past the 15-minute, 50% of that range. But I'm waiting patiently. I'm also getting much more comfortable. I don't know how or when, if I'll continue to try to do multiple prop firms at a time, because then I don't know how to go to or to trade minis on the accounts that have vastly more room. And then the commissions are really awful, like very, very, especially when you get to a lot of mini micros, the commissions are pretty gnarly. on a, a couple point move. They're not at all attractive. We're retesting a little. Really wanted to pop up a little bit more. Okay, got an entry right there. Really close right there. The 5-minute candle is forming a wick on the downside. And still failing to close below. Can't you just pop up? Still no entries. This would have been a great entry. $57s. This is almost a 15-point move just down to the lows. So the overall great move. I didn't love entering here because of where that wick was. That sucks. Um, this is just too large of a stop, so it is what it is. I missed this move. It's a great one too, but I missed it. That's lame, but it's okay. Discipline, discipline, discipline. My objective is no longer just dollars. It is also, I would like to maintain my buffer, especially like on the pro accounts until you get to the pro plus accounts. And then again, so you think about how many times you have to get past the buffer. That's on your eval account, okay? And then your pro account, and then your pro plus account. So yes, everyone's like, well, hey, just get past the buffer and you're fine on the pro plus. Yes, technically, but that's 3 times of doing that. That's the target. Boom. Just got hit. So overall, I just want to maintain my buffer to the best of my ability, even at the expense of better gains. Man, that hit that target almost to the tick. Beautiful.
A thing to pay attention to in price action is that from the low of this candle to the high of this candle forms a pullback. I'm sorry, it was the wrong candles. Let me erase that and do it again.
I was
So,
hoping this would pull back a bit more for an entry. I just didn't
yeah,
get.
so from the low here to the high here, you have a range. It's a 50% test and a move down.
That's perfect. This was a great entry candle, especially if I had been watching it more aggressively. As this pulled back in, I was hoping it smidge more, but I didn't get enough. So you're right, though. The 50% that's perfect.
But the thing to do is you can look at them on individual candles, even down at the 1 minute. You see things like that.
Have you been on the 1 minute a lot?
Yes, I'm trading mostly the 1 minute right now.
That's funny. I've actually got much more comfortable in the 5 minute. Like
I was there for a month or two, and I would just find myself getting distracted.
very fair. Very, very fair. The only reason I'm liking the 5 minute and I'm torn a little bit, just kind of sharing my journey with you guys on using the 5 minute for confluence and then the 1 minute. But the truth is, the 5 minute for confluence is late on the 1 minute most often, unless you're taking the retest. And as you know, that's not always, setting up in the exact time that you're available. So I'm torn between like using the 5 minute as my big, picture and then still being willing to enter on the one or the two, or just not even looking at the one or the two. Because the bigger picture, and yeah, right now there's a little bit more volume. There's obviously not as much as there was a few months ago with all Trump talking and stuff, but there's still a decent amount of volume right now. So I'm thinking, hey, 25 to 30 point stop max. And if it's bigger than that, I have to sit on my hands for that trade. If I can't afford to size down any, then I need to sit on my hands, right? Because in general, 2 micros is what the minimum I'm trading on most of these accounts. So to me, it's giving a little bit of peace. Like you said, though, I can't watch it for AMP. It's awesome. You've got the ATM. You've got you're perfect. You're set. On I still have, I think, anxiety from trying to leave any orders open for trade evade. I don't even know in the world how I would do that. I have no idea because there's so much stuff that goes wrong. Any one thing, I'm like, you can't. You have to watch it. right now, right now. So we'll see. Got this. I was hoping for an enter here. Scott made a valid, great point of looking at the 50% of this candle right here. I was hoping for a slightly stronger wick up, being too greedy, maybe. Potentially that's greed coming out. But either way, didn't get the second entry. I do think at this point we've broken the 15-minute range, technically. We have not closed below it. In fact, we've wicked off of it very, very strongly. Um, we've got a minute left on this 15-minute candle close. I would like to see this price close below, hold on, 755. Well, that's not likely. 755. We're not going to close below that. I mean, it's possible, but very unlikely. We get some weird drop in the next 30 seconds. But since we're not going to, I think that's giving us the validation that we potentially have some upside today. We'll see, because this is only the first 30 minutes of New York of regular trading session. So we broke our blue range as well, our little blue area of interest, retested back into it and came back, but we are still failing to kind of stay outside of this range. So it's looking like we might have to come up first. We'll see.
20 seconds to jolt.
Jolt's not
About
a
10. Now it's a red folder according to Forex Factory.
it's not a restricted news event, I don't think, on most of these. Oh, look at that. Look how this moves. The price action is just wild. And you don't
It's
see,
also the top of the hour, which often has big excursions forming a wick or sometimes making a big push.
yeah.
The 10 o'clock shift is a real thing.
Yeah, I've got the orb set at 10 o'clock right now. It already opened up to 62 ticks on the opening range that quick.
That's wild. On gold?
Yeah.
Hey, while we wait to see this 2-minute candle form, this news candle, and we're watching a price action, just like I tell you guys, it's very different on Tradeovate. Robert, I had a meeting with the developer yesterday, so I learned a couple of things. We've got most of all of the bugs out. There's a couple of things that the trailing stops on trading view are proving to be much harder to implement. Like, so it's coded, but it's not, operating. It's coded, but it's not operating. So we're also transitioning a little bit, kind of testing, hey, this code works here, but not here. Like, what's the difference, et cetera, et cetera. So what I wanted to tell you was a couple of things. This I'll go over it better once we release it. This second range, it is important. So like this has to be set on a field that's out.
Oh, okay. So before we thought we could ignore it, but now we can't.
We cannot. That was a
Okay.
huge thing. And I know the automation's not on this one, so I can't show you all the things. But all of those safety precautions, the max trades on the day and stuff, the only one that's not functioning properly is the max trades on session. Everything else is functioning properly. And we also
Okay.
think one of the reasons that we were having a hard time was this was not set. So because this was not set,
That makes sense because if you left them wide open, it's going to conflict with itself because it's confused on the time periods and what it's supposed to be doing.
yes, the contract sizing is fixed because the trade on Kindle Touch was not using that equation. So a lot of the little things we're gonna get back out. We're gonna keep building, keep doing the darn thing. Overall, very cool. The trails on TradingView might never be built the way that they're meant to be built. We might have to wait until it's on Ninja to apply it.
Because of TradingView. Yeah.
Yeah, because of how TradingView does their thing. So I can't confirm or deny that right now. He is working. He's doing the due diligence. He's making it happen. It's just a lot, and it's a lot of back and forth. So aesthetically, we'll clean up all the settings and all the little misnomers toward the end in terms of settings, but a lot of the basic functions, any of the things that were bugged as in miscoded, most of them have all been adjusted, and then the things that are trading view that we literally simply cannot get beyond, we're going to keep working on the three trails for now, but we'll see. Look at that.
So the trailing, well, when the new version comes up, the trailing is supposed to, I mean, within reason, like you just said, it's supposed to be working on both the ATR and the candle.
So when I told you that we weren't planning on releasing the Kindle close because it wasn't working.
Right, at first, yeah.
No, it doesn't. Getting it to trail properly on Trading View, especially if you're not using pending orders, is very, very difficult. And plus, we can't use pending orders because that's a trade of eight rate limit. Okay. Um, so to apply that practically, remember it's not gonna, if this candle closes and doesn't form a new low, it doesn't count here. So it counts here and then here and then here, and then this knocks you out. But then you have candle close versus candle touch. For whatever reason, this is not knocking you out, right? It should have
Right.
knocked you out, but it didn't knock you out. And we think quite a few theories,
I just thought of a theory too. It may be because, you know, how you said we can't back test because Trading View only does candle close. That may be part of it as well. It may not, you know, I don't know if that makes sense or not. The fact that TradingView can only do it by candle close means you may not be able to program the orb to do it by candle touch as well because of TradingView.
true. Very true.
So okay, so when we go back and test it, we're just going to test with the ATR stop loss, I guess.
We'll see. I'll let you know when I know. I will
So my
my
video captures and my notes do help.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I figured the video capture more than anything would help with the little snippets and stuff because you can actually see it happening as it's happening.
It's also hard because there's so many elements. So that was the other thing was I think some people were having misnomers and malfunctions because they said it wrong in terms of order fills and alert function calls versus just order fills. So I
Right.
there's so many moving parts and elements that I think that's a little bit difficult. But overall, proof of concept we've got. Okay. So it's worth the investment in time and money. Absolutely. I'm in. We're gonna get to the bottom of some of it, period. Like I'm stupid excited over the potential with this thing. Having said that, there's all of those moving parts and then people malfunctioning too, and that's a lot. So we'll
Yeah.
see. I'll let you know when I know, but I just wanted to update you.
And I just got into a gold buy. I hope it works out.
There you go. I hope so too,
I
but if
mean,
not,
it's an uptrend. I'm above those. I don't know if you saw earlier. I was stuck in between two of my previously drawn what I call no trade zones, which obviously that worked out because that was a horrible area to try to do any trades because of the bouncing around. But now it's above all those zones. I'm still under the VWAP. I'm still under the previous day high. It's in an uptrend. It just passed the top orb line, so hopefully this will work out. And I'm up 20 ticks so far.
well, here's the deal. Decide to lock or protect it. But remember, if you follow the plan and had the confluences, even a losing trade is part of trading.
Yeah. Well, it's like I sent you, you're not a structuring person, but there was a thing for Picard was talking to Commander Data and says there are times you can do everything perfectly and still lose,
Yeah.
which
No,
I thought was a good quote. That's a perfect quote for this.
yeah. If your whole job is not just to make money, your job is to say, did you follow your rules?
Yeah. Well, I'm still trailing by candle. I mean, like we've done, we haven't done anything else in training or mentorship in a while, so I'm still following that procedure regardless.
I like that for you. I like that a lot. Hey, real quick, let's talk about the charts for a second. This white zone, okay, we said we wanted to see if we could get below and stay below. We have broken below. We had news and stuff. We came back to retest it. We broke below again. Had news, retested it, and we're still closing bearish. Granted, it's real hard for me to want to trust this to get short, but big, if we get off the small time frames and we get out of our own way, obviously I want to close below this our blue area of interest here. And that's the biggest desire. I do think there's a good 100 points to the downside if we can kind of confirm this move, but it's really hard for me to want to trust this with these massive wicks, right? Lots of wicks in this area. So, and it's going to be up to you guys. I just wanted to point out that we have rejected this area that I defined as significant prior to, it forming, right? This was the area we said, hey, we want to stay below. We did. We retested back into it. Even with news, we came back into it, which was, gosh, quite a few significant areas. We've got yesterday's closing price, oof,
I'm,
overnight mid, yesterday's regular trading range low, current mid, we retested back into that, but we just need to kind of stay below even this level. It's just it's a risky trade in my opinion.
I'm trying a new approach too. Yesterday, I'm going to trade pre-market, maybe market open, and if I'm up over $50 for the day on one account, I'm stopping.
There you go. I like.
That's just going to be my, I mean, well, even if I'm not, I'll probably stop. But, if I make over $50 on one account, to me, that's going to be a winning day. And right now I'm up 66 ticks, but it's right at yesterday's previous high. So I'm thinking about just closing here.
Well, if you're I don't want to go to gold, but if you're up, let's say you're up right now, instead of just closing, like if you have to go or you're busy or
I
you're
know what I do. I'll move it up to the VWAP line. How's that? I'm
you
moving the stop loss up to the VWAP.
yeah, you can just start trailing. Just start trailing down and as it's going, great, and then you get knocked
It's
out.
a it's a huge candle too. And I didn't have my headset on, but a minute ago when Scott was talking about the Jolt report was at 10 o'clock, I said Jolt sounds like sometimes what these prices do at 10 o'clock too.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
82 ticks. Let's go.
There you go. Hey guys, I put that in the chat too, if you would, pretty please. But in the
I
Discord,
will. I will when it's over. I don't want to jinx it.
guys, I like the short here. I like it, but we're still technically inside the 15-minute opening range. We've already tapped into several key levels. We've only got 25 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. We're at on the 5-minute. I like it. I just don't love it. And I don't love the management I'd have to have on it. We're sitting at 50% of this bullish candle here. Maybe forming a little baby head and shoulders.
I'm sorry. I was talking to myself. I was looking at this gold chart. There's not a lot of like, there's like one area of interest, but it's like a little bit further up, and then there's nothing between there and the all-time high. So I don't know where this will go. It may keep going, but it's already past yesterday's high. It's halfway. Yeah, it's almost up 100% so far.
That's awesome. Very, very awesome.
So now I'm going to drag my stop loss up to yesterday's high.
I'm really not in. If I had shorted up here, fine, but I'm just not super interested even here. But we're still inside that 15-minute range. We've got the last day of the month. I would like to see it form a monthly wick to the upside. But you guys already know. I'm trying to dump my sell side bias. I definitely have a little bit of one. Not too much, and not as much as I feel like, but I think it's like 60% of my trades are sells. So I'd like it to be a little bit more equal to 50-50, but I'm working on it. Definitely got a bit of a bias.
Well, the market's going to give you what the market's going to give you.
The cool thing about tracking, Scott, is like you can see stuff over time, and it's hard because there's so many, anomalies with all the copy stuff I've, foobarred with, which is,
Well, and the market, your tracking isn't going to show you the market because sometimes the market just gives you sells. Sometimes the market just gives you buys.
very true. Very,
And
very.
and on Sky, it's like when you're doing back testing, I mean, your back testing shows data, but it doesn't show news candles or events and stuff like that. It's just straight data, and it's kind of makes it harder.
True, but if I'm always looking for a sell, especially in a market that's notoriously always going up, that limits my edge. Now, in my opinion, we already know when the market falls, it does so pretty quickly, whereas it kind of just crawls up and drops down, crawls up and drops down overall, like big picture stuff, big time frame over time. Um, Still, I want to be a little bit better. I just like sells because they also happen so quick. Whereas like a buy, it might forever be buying, and that's why when you do a strategy tester on TradingView, it says, hey, you made this much. But if you had bought this and just held for 10 years, you would have made this much. So the whole buy and hold concept, um, I know that the market's always going up, but usually the up move is slower and more
It
whatever.
seems more gradual, and it takes longer. The sales a lot of times they just dump, the bottom falls out.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, I'm still sitting up only 3,500 on the day. I say only, but come on, where else can you make $3,500 a day on the day in a couple of minutes? Can I do more? Yes. Right now, I don't know if long term I'm going to stick with the multitude of prop firms. I might just pick the one or two and then walk because it's just not sustainable. But we'll see. This is my big picture goal. Don't worry, I paid the piper to test it. I don't know how sustainable it is long term if you can only, trade micros. I mean, sure you could make money, but is it, scalable? So scalable is kind of the concept, but we'll see. I mean, and besides, it would take so long for all of those accounts to be mini worthy, but we'll see. We'll see what we end up doing. Definitely no contract switch. So no more contract switches for me though. Too many fails there. Guys, we got our good trade. I did not take this entry. This technically could have given us an entry as well. But we're sitting, this was the Friday closing price. This was that daily gap. I can go to remove that line. We're really respecting that low and we're in the middle of the 15-minute range. So potential little baby time frame head and shoulders. We
Which
might,
is interesting because I don't know where the support's coming from other than the lower time frame support. The higher time frames, at least like with an hour and the 4 hour, shows that if the sellers wanted to take this, they have plenty of room to go down a little bit, but they're not budging. The buyers are holding.
they aren't. Well, we have some support here for sure on that bigger time frame. Because like even if I go to the 4 hour, look at where that we're at.
There's no, I don't see any major level there unless I'm mistaken. I mean,
Well, look, this is where all-time highs stopped. Okay. And then we really, this level has been pretty, oh no, it's really only a month, guys. Well, we're at all-time highs, so it can't be more than a month. But all month we've been, this is the 18th. We stopped, came down, broke above, came in, broke above, came in, broke down. So this area, we really need to lose it to give some back. And I think the sellers have plenty of room. I'm talking 130-ish points. And that's not a huge monthly wick. If you think about from the month, because September, yeah. Oh no, that's a very small wick in relation to the size of the month. That would give us a candle that looks like if we can get this move down, I probably should have used a green candle. But if we get down into here, that's the size of the wick, which is very, very doable. That's a small wick in relation to the size of this candle. I mean, I don't know for sure, but just yapping with you guys now. What? Hold on. Look at me trying to draw a firecracker on the screen. I never said I was an artist, okay? That's 5.4%. Yeah,
There's like a handmade candle from the 1800s. Sorry.
all right.
And then we have to deal with the threat. I'm going to say the threat at NFP maybe more than once because it's supposed to be Friday, but if we have a shutdown, it'll be delayed. Then we'll have to deal with it coming up again at another point later.
it may just be one of those things, like you said, with the NFP and everything, that there's really no conviction yet that maybe they're gonna wait out the week a little bit more, see how things play out, but and just leave the month where it's at.
They
Well,
might.
I mean, it's like that and shut down, all kinds of crazy stuff going on right now. So
Hold on, go to hide all. What did I just do? Hide all. That's what the monthly candle's looking like right now. So bigger tail to the bottom side. The price point we want is all the way into here. So it's really not a lot. It's not a big ask in the big picture. I just don't know that we're gonna get it. And if we do, I'm wondering if we're gonna get it, what is it, power hour kind of time frame?
Right.
Because we
I'm
can
just
oh,
surprised with everything, like how the Bulls are holding so much, the optimism. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but who knows?
hey, I know why. It's Jonathan, you and I are both sell side bias. These people are crazy. Let's sell this.
I mean,
well,
You could still look for a sell and be very bullish, but this is just to the point that it's a, I don't know what over exuberance is, but hey.
Another thing that could be coming into play in the background is maybe a possible, it's never happened, so I have my doubts, but another possible deal, peace deal in the Middle East may be happening. That could be part of it.
Peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, I know it's an oxymoron, for the past 70 some years, but they say even now Hamas is looking towards, now, as we know from other people too, agreeing to, or how can I say, agreeing to terms is different than living up to terms, but, at least it's something.
Oh, actually, I like that saying a lot. Agreeing to terms is different than living up to them.
Well, Putin's a perfect example. He's agreed to terms on it how many times now has done actually opposite, the very same day. So,
I like that expression. Actually, I like that expression a lot. It's really easy to make agreements. It's harder to live up to it.
oh yeah, you can sign anything easy. It's just living up to it's the hard part.
Wish I didn't. So many levels of humaning. I wish I did not, but I do. Guys, this is where we're sitting. So we're still respecting, okay, this white box I drew was not Jenny's and Oracle. It's just I wanted to stay below. We're staying below. We're coming into the 10:30 time frame and we have swept liquidity to the downside. Okay. We took out midnight high pre-market. We're definitely just going nowhere fast. But baby head and shoulders, if you're looking at, formations like that. This 5-minute candle's got a nice wick to the upside, still respecting kind of that 780s, 790s area and pushing back down. I think we've got a really healthy ability to potentially sell off. Um, but we'll see. It's really hard for me to want to give back a bunch of or a little for that matter, any profit when it just looks like this. It's just not worth the effort because
Yeah,
we
there's so many wicks on the, you get the sell pressure and then the little wicks to push it back up. And so it's just like sellers are just saying like they want to sell, but they don't really have high conviction right now.
They don't, they really don't. And look at the 15 minute. The 15 minute, you've got these nice bearish candles. It's a, decent candles and news too. Love the wick here, but we're bullish and we still got 9 minutes. So if the candle theory is we pushed up, down, and this candle is definitely indecisive. Very, very indecisive. I was gonna say now we're gonna push up, but we pushed up, back down, and now we're pushing up again. So we've already got all three directions here. So we wait. I mean, maybe we get another setup, maybe we don't. We'll see. Overall, not a bad way to be.
I'm guaranteed
Man,
142 ticks so far. Is where my stop loss is.
So basically, you're telling me that gold was smooth.
yeah.
Gold was clean.
Darren, since that news came out and a little bit prior to, if you were on the 1 minute, it would have been tough to manage unless you were trailing really hard.
Yeah, I got in at 38.57 is where it triggered.
Mm.
It may close out here shortly. I hope not. I mean, there's still about 300 ticks up to the all-time high. So
Well, look, on the 1 minute, I mean, you've got your points, you've got your pips, you've got your move.
Oh, I'm
You've,
sorry. Yeah, that's clean. I was talking about Nasdaq. I didn't realize you guys had swapped to NQ. I mean to gold. Excuse me. Yeah, that 1 minute is nice on gold.
you
you
got
gotta
this.
be quick. You gotta be quick when Jenny's switching around. She'll switch charts on you in a heartbeat.
Well, I'm looking at the charts and talking at the same time. My bad.
Uh,
Excuse me.
You guys are good. I've actually been staying pretty consistent with NQ. I like it. I like it a lot. So, but I just don't see anything, guys. I'm definitely a little sell side bias, mostly because I want that monthly wick. Don't know we're gonna get it this morning. I think that's a big ask for us to assume that we're gonna do something like where's my other drawing tools at? Something like come up, take that fair value, have that imbalance, and then come back down. I mean, that's, hundreds of points on a Tuesday that the government might be shutting down and NFP week and the last day of the month. So that's kind of a big ask, but we'll see. We will definitely see. Delete. Let's go to crosshairs. Now I can delete all this stuff. But we're coming back up again. We're trying. And back down.
It's like yesterday, I think it had two or three. It's one kind of moderate trade, a couple that were short. On two contracts, I made $140, and I closed out the browser and everything for the entire day. I didn't even look at the chart. I didn't even want to see it.
Good job. Hey, wait, iPhone 3. There's a lot of buying pressure in the new week opening gap area. So that new week opening gap is here. That's where we cashed out that. This was Friday's closing price. Then we had a little bit on Friday. A little bit on Friday, wherever that's at. You guys get what I'm saying. Overnight to Monday morning. Of course, we pushed up because everyone wanted to get the gap. So we had to knock out all those people who wanted the gap. Didn't even fill that yesterday. Overnight action's pretty choppy. We've officially filled that gap. There's definitely a lot of buying pressure right here, so it's not trying to go anywhere. But the 5 minutes got another spring to the upside. And it's trying. Like, we're below the VWAP. We're below the moving. Well, trying to close below the moving average. This is the 1 minute. Granted, right here off screen, I've got the 5 minute up. And we're currently below the 50% of the 15-minute range. But we're just chopping at this point. So this isn't going anywhere. We can be stupid and take a position, but right now there's not a reason to. Is Trump talking right now?
Believe it or not, he is. He's talking to the top military leaders in Quantico. He has been for probably past 15, 20 minutes. I'm telling you, we need a Trump indicator. Somebody needs to develop one.
Yeah, by the time they got it built and tested, they're gonna be out. He's gonna be out of office.
He talks at the top of the hour, apparently, and then he also signs executive orders later on in the afternoon, like at least like about like 5 hours from now,
More
4.5 hours.
Okay. I'm still flat, guys. I just have these positions. I didn't do anything else. If I take a pre-market trade, I'm usually doing it on NQ on a bigger account, where I'm, doing my 10 points. I'd like to be able to catch this whole move. I don't ever right now. Um, Otherwise that's it. I'm working on truly staying to the whole I took 3 trades today kind of theory. I did still call it a theory because it still is. But I'm getting better at it, which is just I don't want to be over trading. In fact, the most money I've ever made in trading from all the different, kinds of styles of trading I've done is when I took 3 to 5 trades a week. Like that's the most I've ever gotten paid ever. And granted, that's personal accounts, it's different with props. I get it, but I do think the over trading is a big topic. So I would love to put on maybe a small position size on an account and just see if this comes down on the day. 100 points, easy. We
I'll be
don't.
the first to admit overtrading is my Achilles heel. I'll just say it. That's the main probably issue that I have is overtrading.
Well, Robert, we've talked about this. Make it to where it's not just sessions you're targeting, but say, hey, look, you're allowed to have 2 losses on the day and then you're done. Or you're allowed to have 3 trades on the day and then you're done. And here's the problem with that, even for me, like I'll talk about me because you're your best example. It's awesome. This is a bigger time frame. Let's go to a smaller one. Um, it's awesome. Let's say you caught this move up, and I did. I caught some of it on a mini. I obviously didn't get this whole move, so it's like I could have made more. I should have made more. That account isn't up, whatever, 5,000 for me to withdraw X amount of bajillion dollars, right? So it's very easy to convince yourself you need another one. But if I traded this and I got knocked out, let's just say I got knocked out here, okay, and we wicked back down, I got knocked out before we got this big move up. Cool. All I got out of this was 400 instead of the, 1,000. Some days the market's going to give you 400. Some days the market's going to give you, 40. And we have to be able to accept both of those days. prop firms make that hard with their consistency rules and all the other little rules, especially with Apex. But the truth is, some days your entry was right on point. You didn't have, you had to hold still, but then you got this big amount. Some days your entry was later and you only got a baby amount, even though the move was great. That's going to be part of it based just off of what time this move happens. It's not always at the time that we're available. It's not always at the time, we're trading. Sometimes it's happens at 2 or at 8 p.m. or at 3 a.m. and it is what it is. So I think just having a set number of I'm only willing to take this amount of trades, hopefully I kind of balance out a little bit with how much I'm making, losing, earning, profit, loss kind of aspect, but I can't control that. I have a little more control by targeting 5 to 10, 20 points. I have little more control over how much I'm up and down, mostly because it's a very sustainable move. But with these big moves, I have no control over when I get them and when I don't. The 100-point moves like this.
So mine just closed 153 ticks on that one. I'm up 416 for the week. 311 for the day, and I'm done.
All right, good job. Way to go.
I'm logged out of everything. I even make sure I turn the alerts off of TradeView so my phone doesn't even see them.
I love that. That is a healthy habit that you are cultivating. Very healthy.
Hey, Jenny, can I switch topics for just a moment? Somebody asked a question, and I figured it would be a good opportunity for you to kind of share your thoughts on, how like when people are financially, they're in a tight space, but they're still wanting to be able to do the investments, but kind of like what you've talked about in the community and several other people in the community have talked about is like basically try to get your personal finances in order, because otherwise you start doing weird things, even if there's automated trading happening for you. Can you just talk a little bit about that? And we'll clip it and snip it out as well.
Oh, absolutely. So the question was, can you post it or can you tag me in it? Where is it at?
Well, it was a personal question that they had. So basically, long story short, they're in a situation where they don't have income coming in. They do have some money that they have, like in a pot or whatever. And the thought was, hey, what would be the best option? So
Oh, I know this is
yeah,
bad business, but I wouldn't be investing. Like if I didn't have income coming in, like so if you're my best friend, if you're my sister, you're my neighbor, you're my child, you're not investing. And don't get me wrong, I'm an aggressive business person. I'm a capitalist through and through, 100%, business oriented. I was just born that way. God made me that way. But I'm also like, I don't know what your background is in terms whoever's asking, right? Or the people listening. I don't know if your background is, hey, I have children to support. Hey, I have a mortgage due or rent due. I don't know if your background is, hey, I don't know what I have some money is and I have a little bit. I don't know what those parameters are. So without that information off the top, I would say you're not putting any money into anything. You can demo trade to practice while you're getting the skill set. I would do that. I'm 100% for like the Tony Robbins burn your boats, go all in, blah, blah, blah. That concept when you have a skill set, when you're gonna, certain personality type, sure, that is possible. But in general, across the board, I'm telling you, you're probably better off pick one strategy, one person, okay, one method and adapt it to yourself. Demo trade only. Get some stream of flow to where at least you're not worried about can I pay my groceries or whatever you're at in life next month. Because here's the problem. If you come to this trade and let's just say a day like this, I'm looking at it like, hey, we made 3,500. It's not enough to withdraw on two of these accounts. It's fine. It is what it is. Like, but I'm not completely panicked. If you are in this position, let's say it's your personal account, not even a prop account, you're going to see this and you're going to see, well, this was $500. I could have paid my rent. You're going to catch some of it and you're going to try to take another entry. You're going to try to take another entry. You're take another entry. And by the time you get here, especially in a chop day like this, you're probably going to have blown the account. If not blown, you're probably sitting close to break even at best case scenario. And now you're at more of a deficit than you're currently at. So to me, if you're my best friend, you need to have some level of, I don't have to be doing the best, but I can't be sinking because it's very, very, very hard to start trading if you're already sinking, in my opinion. And that goes for all businesses. I mean, I truly believe that. Now, granted, I know there's the stories out there that are like, hey, I bootstrapped it and I started a business from the trunk of my car, and that's awesome. I am that girl. I have stories very comparable to that. My own story is very comparable to that, you know, but you have to have some amount of I'm okay here and I'm going to go all the way in. And that is probably number one is you can't trade until you're at least break even, you're afloat. And then number two, obviously, is demo. Pick one thing. And then number three is let's say you can cultivate a little bit of a budget, or I don't know what your nest egg is. Maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's 2,000. Hey, I've got 50,000. Like those are all very different levels. But let's say you've got a couple of thousand, because I am a capitalist, because I am business oriented, I would say, okay, cool. I'm willing to risk X amount of dollars of this only after I've proven that I can trade, for 30, at least 30 days. Because I know when you're tight, 30 sounds like a lot. In different circumstances, I would say 90 days. Um, but let's say 30 days of demo trading. Now I'm willing to risk, let's say a couple $100 of my 10,000, right? I'm willing to put $500 in because the truth is I'd have to find it, but you can turn $500 into a lot of money. It is possible. It is possible in the next amount of a few weeks, months. It's very rare. So remember, you've got a 1 to 2% chance of having success in really any business. Okay. But even as a trader, okay, only, most 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years, right? It's pretty grim. 98% of traders fail pretty quickly. So these are all statistics we already know. So now that I've given you the downside, let's talk about the upside. Hold on. Let this pull up. Honestly, it is possible. 72 trades. We just saw, we took one trade. It lasted a couple of minutes, but figure this is in 72 trades. Let's put this at $500. Let's say I only have $500. Now, this doesn't work if you can't prove you have the skill set. This risk is very high. Obviously, it's not recommended. This is like, hey, I might lose this all, but I can accept that. I've proven I've got a skill set. This is not high. 65% is very attainable. It is not some number that's out of this world, like, hey, you have to be 100% accurate. This is extremely high. So I'm going to put that down to at least 5%, averaging about a 2 to 1. You can turn that $500 into 20,000. And that's not best case scenario. Best case scenario, if I recalculate this lots of times, you've got 9,000, 20,000, 68,000, 43. So this is what's possible, 72 trades. And figure that takes you a couple months. Maybe it takes you a couple of weeks, depending on how much mental and emotional control you have. But when your psyche is already a mess because now you're struggling and you're all over the place, it's not a great time to go try to accomplish something like this. You're more likely to fail. So there's just no way around that, in my opinion. So again, very possible, but first you have to prove you have the skill set and your head's got to be right. And if you're like, hey, I can't pay my rent in 3 weeks, your mind is probably not right. It might be, it's possible, but not very, very likely at all. So I don't know if Brika, does that answer that question or that message?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because I know you've talked about it, Limji's talked about it, a couple of other people have talked about how the difference in the mindset shifts. And even, myself, I've seen it too, is like how you're able to make better decisions when there's not pressure. Because it adds a whole nother layer of pressure where you wouldn't make certain decisions. And one of the things that I think is beautiful about trading is that, like, I think once we start to become better at it, it just kind of shifts how we see things in life. So even though stuff is popping off in the world, it's like, we can feel some kind of way, but it's like easier to get back to that neutral place, if that makes sense. Because in trading, I feel like that's the best set of decisions we will make, is when we're in neutral.
Neutral. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because if you're in this position where it's your last dollar and you're not okay mentally and emotionally, I'm not saying miracles don't happen. I'm not saying you can't, Tony Robbins it and burn the boats and go all in. I'm just saying, especially in a field like this, look at this chop fest. So yes, this is possible. $70,000 figure after taxes and fees and in and out and everything you got to face. You're probably looking at 50. We already know that. But look, this is also real trading. Now, granted, this was yesterday. Let's get out of that. Yesterday was this clean move up and a clean move down, reasonably easy, right? Not every moment's like that. And when you're in a bad mindset and you just finished dinner, you try to come take this trade and you lose it. And you try to come take this trade and you lose. It's this never-ending cycle of 24-hour access, 5.5 days a week. to bad decisions. So to me, it really depends. It depends on what your responsibilities are to others, right? It depends on what your overhead is and how far off you are. It depends on how mentally, emotionally healthy you are. And I don't mean that as a dig. I'm not your counselor. Um, I would just say it's a big deal because your psyche has got to be right. Otherwise, the decisions you're going to make, you're going to end up in more of a deficit than less of a deficit most often. Now, again, from the girl who believes that every single person on this call listening in right now or listening in on YouTube, you guys can be part of the 1 to 2%. Like the statistics are what? 95% of the 98% of Americans are dead or dead broke by the age of 65. So you can be part of the 1 to 2%, but you have to start doing the things the 1 to 2% are doing. And that includes in your mindset, in your life, in your decisions, in your spending, in your diet, in your the way you treat your people, the way you maintain your home, the decisions you make. It's not just in trading. You don't become that 1 to 2% in only the purple and green candles on your chart. It's selling off again. Like that's not when you become that. You become that in other areas, in maintaining a bedtime, in stretching or doing your yoga or a walk or something. You don't have to be 100% because you never will be, neither will I. But you become that 1 to 2% by all the other actions that you do. Because what is that expression? How you do anything is how you do everything. And that's kind of where I'd probably end that because it's a big deal. But it's possible. It's here, one more just for the plot, okay, as the teenagers say. It's possible. It's right here. You can compound $1,000, okay, into 6 figures. 5% is very high risk. You need to prove that you have the skill set before you're risking that. Otherwise, you should be risking one, okay? 1% is what you should be risking if you have not proven you have the skill set. When you've proven that you can maintain 65% accuracy, as you know, is a D. It's a D plus and a D regular, not even a D plus. A D in high school, right? In your grading, this is a D. This is a very practical, number. This is harder if you're trying to lock profits and stuff, but this is possible. If I recalculate that, $1,000, 5% risk, and I just keep recalculating it, you're talking 6 figures, right? We've seen as low as 14,000. If you track this number right here, I'm going to zoom in so we know. Zoom out one more time. Horrible view, guys. Horrible. Sorry about that. There you go. So risking $1,000, 5% risk, 65% accuracy, very doable. 2.1, right? So that means you have to let some of your winners run a little bit past that too. And you just keep doing it. You're talking potentially 6 figures, 7,000. Turn $1,000 into 7,000. That is not a bad day. 55,000 is very, 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 very possible. So it's possible. You just got to do the work, and yeah, hopefully that helps.
Thanks. And I will add one more thing. I know I mentioned it once in the class before, and I think in a conversation you and I had, where a church I went to years and years ago, they had like this amazing financial like discipleship class. But even to be a part of that, they were like, hey, you have to have at least $500 extra a month with no demands on it. And so for a lot of people, it was inspiration. Even for me, it was inspiration. It's like, okay, I want to be a part of this program. So it's like I worked my way up to making sure that I was able to have that, so I could be a part of the program and to do the thing. So sometimes I think it's building an additional money muscle by saying, hey, like you said, be in demo. And in the meantime, okay, let me just either get more funds or get a way to get more funds. It's like not saying that door is ever closed. It's just saying, okay, the strategy to get there might be a little bit different. So just a thought.
100% money. I believe that money is everywhere. You can DoorDash, you can Instacart. I know that they're not taking as many people. Truck drive. There's so many things that you can go make some money on. You can sell a lot of the stuff that you have floating around that you didn't know you don't need. Like, it just get rid of all the clutter, make room in your life. Like, there's 100 ways to go get back to break even, get back to okay, or to find that buffer. There's a part-time job. And I know that's not ideal for a lot of people. You guys are here not to get a job, but you can ask other traders. A lot of them started making money after they got a job. Like, so there's some, younger guys who were like, hey, I was going to prove I was going to make $1 bajillion. He didn't start making money until he got this part-time job that was now he wasn't looking at money the same. So now when he made the money on the chart, he treated it differently, and he wasn't coming from a place of destitution. He was coming from a place of possibility, a place of discipline, a place of Wait, I do value the $50 because it's hard. It's hard to value the $50 when you know that there's technically 5,000 right here. It's very hard. But if you go to work all day and you have to earn the $50, you might look at the $50 here a little differently and stop giving it back all the time. That's huge. So finding that buffer, I think, is a huge, great tip too.
I
Huge.
love it. I was like, let me pass the offering plate. Okay. Anyway, thanks, Jenny.
You are welcome. Thank you, Miss Breaka. All right, guys, I'm gonna be smart and not trade. We know big picture, this white area, okay, our little white box, our magical area. If we can get above it, retest, I would love to go get this 80 to 100-ish point move, okay? 25,000 is possible, 24,920s, okay? All in the possibility range. We are on an NFP week. We have the president talking, and we're on the final day of the month. My bias, which right now we are staying below kind of this range, which was a significant kind of overnight mid. It was the 50% of the regular trading range. It's a very significant area right here. Okay. We are staying below it, but we're not having any follow through. In fact, we're getting bought back up aggressively every time we kind of get near here. And iPhone 3 called it out just great, saying, look, there's a lot of buying pressure down here. There's a ton. We get anywhere near it and it pushes it back up. But we also get anywhere near here and we push it back down. So we're pretty range bound now after almost an hour and 15 minutes past opening range. We're not going anywhere. And we're still technically inside the 15-minute range. We're respecting a very small imbalance that happens to be right here, which is awesome. We've got 9 seconds left on this second bullish 15-minute candle close after open. So to me, there's just no clear direction. So when there's no clear direction like this, I'm going to stay out. Now, some traders are going to come in and say, hey, look, this 9:45 candle swept the liquidity, right? And it didn't swept the liquidity. We've come and tagged into this previous high. We've swept out the over last weekend's gap. So safe buy. And this is its own trading strategy, right? We have the people who break out and trade in the direction. Hey, we broke out of the 15-minute range, we're selling. We have other people who say, hey, 15-minute range just swept this liquidity, now we're buying up. So I don't think either of those is necessarily wrong or right. I just would definitely be playing it very, very safe. Right now we're pushing up, potential little scalp on the table, maybe all the way back up to midnight open. That's the 843s, but we'll see. That's all the way up into here. Come sweep this liquidity next. The overnight action is all the way at the 50s, 850s. But I don't love anything, so don't love anything on the table right now.
And I recommend people learn to draw those areas of interest because they've already helped me again already. I just said that.
No, I'm glad. I'm super grateful.
Especially this morning, I sent that snippet. I was the price is between between two zones. I'm like, dude, I'm not. If I get even if the opening range gives me a signal here, I'm not unless it passes above or below these ranges. I'm not even touching it.
Yeah, because it just tells you we've been pretty stalled here for a hot minute. That we stopped here pretty aggressively, shot pretty far back down, broke through. Like this area, we really like these 24,800 area. This whole area, but we're not getting anywhere out of it, right? At least not right now. So might get that move later on in the day. Big picture, my bias is to the downside for multiple reasons. It's the last day of the month. I want that wick. But if there's nothing to trade, there's nothing to trade. As always, if we break above this, I'm trying to take all the way into here, which is the 24 930s and potentially back to the 25s. If we can maybe, I'd say if we can get below, but we're just not getting below. We're just not. We can get below and sell below. We've got another 100 points to the downside all the way into here. That's the 24 600s, 24 700s ish. But I like the 600s a little better. So we'll see. That's really not going to be a huge monthly wick either. Not at all. But does anybody have any questions, comments that you guys want to go over with me? I will let you know as soon as the breakout automation is updated. I was hesitant to release again. I wanted to make sure we've got a lot of that stuff just retested, really defining and redefining quite a bit of things. And also you guys need a better PowerPoint kind of clarity on what it's doing. Oh, here we go. We're breaking out to the upside now, 10:45.
I already told, I guess, Breakout, you're the at 650C, I think. Whenever I have the motivation and the time, I'm going to go through the older, like the live session videos and parse out. That's the word I was looking for the other day when I was talking to myself. Parse out the part about the where you talk about the auto orb and make those like individual videos. And I'm going to actually upload them to Google Drive, let Brika download them, and let her upload them to the auto orb section, if all that makes sense.
Well, honestly, you're fine. Wait till we get the next release. We'll do another video on it. We'll kind of go over
Okay.
everything. But I do appreciate the offer, genuinely.
Okay.
Look at
So, I mean, I have the ability, if you cover it in a live session, I have the ability just to take out that one section and like just I'm just basically going to do a video capture of that one section like I do my trades and link them to her and let her download them and use them ever how you want to use them.
We've tried stuff like that in the past, but the video quality tends to be like, it's not like, YouTube or like lesson worthy, unfortunately, the whole like screen capture method. Although we have tried that in the past. So, but we'll see. We'll see if there's something helpful. Definitely, I will let you know. Otherwise, that's all I got on today. We just got that buy breakout. Beautiful. We broke out here. It just still was stalling. So. We'll see. We'll see where the day ends. I'm not going to go chase this. There is an imbalance to the upside, if nothing else, just to take this level. Potentially great trade there, and we will see. We're getting ready to try to break out of this 15-minute range right now. S&P slips and
Miss Jenny,
hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm at work. I'm sneaking off the phones for a second. Don't tell anybody.
Okay.
But I just piggybacked on what you said and I posted it in the chat. Like mindset is huge. And if you can avoid like that, trading will put you into depression. And I've always said from the time I started trading, trading will make you bipolar, even if you're not. So make sure that make sure your foundation is stable. I've done both ways where I work for myself and then I really relied on trading to financially supplement my income, but that was a hard struggle. So now I've actually geared a job where I can sit and work remotely and my job allows me to be able to trade, but my job pays all my monthly bills. So whether I take a win or a lose, I really don't care. I'm now just trading for the strategy. And the second thing that I would say is, how do you want your lifestyle? Because if you want to start off your trading life with stress on your back, that's how you think it's going to be. So I always say the way you practice is the way you perform. I want to do trading for the next 10, 20, 30 years. And I want it to be enjoyable. I don't want it to be like, oh my gosh, I got to make this $100. Oh my gosh, I lost $100. That's stressful. I want to be like, you know what? I trade for these few hours. And if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. If I make money, great. But trading is only the fuel to whatever our real life is. And like your real life might be like, okay, I want to invest in real estate after, but let trading be the fuel for whatever it is. I think sometimes we mistake it and say, trading should be my whole life. That's too much pressure to put on trading. Trading is bipolar. Like it's not what
Melissa,
I
you and I are in similar situations because I work for the government. Don't tell on me, and I won't tell on you. Uh, my home office, I have an L-shaped desk on the left side is my work computer, and a big curved monitor on the right side is the one that I'm on now, my personal computer, big curved monitor. And I could just like turn and go switch back and forth as I'm working. I can do this at the same time.
exactly.
And I actually created a new term. At some points, I've lost so much money, I became tripolar. That's a new term, but
Oh
I
my
just
God.
invented it because I've actually had that happen.
Yeah.
I think you said something really good that trading doesn't have to be your end all. I think the internet's obviously a blessing. We're all on it right now, soaking up its fruits. Having said that, it's also very toxic because people think you have to make 10,000 in a day, you have to make $50,000 a month. You don't. For some of
Mhm.
you guys, $1,000 a month is life changing if you could do it consistently, which is not that much per day. It's less than $50, $1,000 a month will change. It'll fund your life's dreams. I call it your heartstrings, like whatever pulls at your heartstrings. For some of you guys, $1,000, $2,000, let's say you got a $5,000 payout every quarter. That's really only 20 grand a year. That would change your life. It would up level your life. And that's only one $5,000 payout every quarter, right? It's 20,000 a year. An extra $20,000 a year is life changing. So some people also need to, I think, recognize that it's not about trying to make trading your everything. Yeah, I don't think that's sustainable. You should have other means of not only income, but also joy, also like goals, hopes, ambitions. It can't, in my opinion, only be trading. And I love trading. Like trading is I had a lot of other businesses in the past. I learned how to trade and I was like, oh, this is it. I love it. But I also do real estate. I also do some other things. Obviously, I'm building 6 FTC, which will hopefully be many fruits worth of profitable. Especially as we get the automation stuff out. But I don't think trading should be your everything in more than one facet. That means as in paying your bills, but also your joy, also your hopes, goals, and whatever. Like there should be something else that maybe you want to accomplish. So, hey, I'm looking to earn an extra $1,000 a month for this purpose, right? Not just to pay your mortgage, but also maybe to, fund this thing you want to do, maybe pay for your vacations every year or buy your daughter the graduation car, whatever that might be. There's fund your archery, hobby. I don't care what it is. Like there's other things to live for. And I don't know anything about archery. Like I don't think I'd be very good at it, but we'll find out. I mean, either way, it's something else, like to fund something else, not just your bills. And I think that also changes it. My mother taught me when I was really little, like when she worked certain things, she would designate that money in her mind that, hey, this goes to this. It wasn't always just, oh, this is for bills and stuff. It was like this, I'm working this for this purpose, like Jenny's band or what have you. And I think that tip or trick helped kind of build other businesses. It helped build kind of how I segmented and processed what you're working for. It's not always just to retire and to do nothing. Most people would lose their mind if they retired and did nothing, right? There's other things in life than not working. So there you go. In Robert's case, he wants to buy $1 bajillion worth of ghost hunting equipment. Like you do you, boo boo. Like I'm all for it.
Boo boo. Hey, I see how you slid that in there with the ghost thing. Actually, this past weekend I spent 1,400 on ghost hunting equipment. But that's between us.
And the internet. But yeah, um, honestly, guys, there's other things. So try to keep that in your mind too. Is for some people, trading will never be their sole source of income, but it'll be the thing that funds their retirement. Like maybe you don't have enough to fill up your Roth every year, so you trade just enough to put the what is it, 7, 8 thousand into your Roth or your health savings plan that you're allowed to put in there. That in itself is life changing. Like there's other things that you can be trading for that, potentially life changing. So we'll see. On that note, we got the buy. We came up to this level. Beautiful. Coulda, shoulda, woulda taken this buy, didn't. I wasn't in love with it, and I'm okay with that overall. We're pushing back down with so much aggressiveness. Just very indecisive market at this time. So I'm okay sitting out and we'll see what happens by the end of the day. Wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside, wicks all around, and I'm really curious to see how the end of the day goes. So we will be live tomorrow morning trading at 9:15 a.m. If you have questions, comments, put them in the chat. I do have private coaching here in a couple of minutes. If you made money today, put that in the chat. If you're done for the day and you're holding yourself accountable, you want the community to hold yourself accountable, post in the chat, hey, I'm up or down X amount. Okay. I used this strategy, this time frame. My max loss, my max, entries was this done for the day, right? Or done for the session, right? And let's hold each other accountable. This way, when Robert comes in at 2:30 and says, yo, I was looking at this trade, we can say, hey, yo, you said you were done and you should be done, right? Be done. We got to be done sometimes. So if you need me, I am here. Happy trading, guys. Happy Tuesday. Take care and God bless. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you for the update.
Oh, thank Miss Barbara. Yeah, I know you know, but oh my gosh.